All right, welcome everybody to the live stream here, streaming the Four Crowns here at Lanes Raceway. Got another big day of beautiful wing car racing here. As we are now over the middle mark here, this will be our first race. We got 6 more races to go, and the Four Crowns will be locked in. We'll be adding all those laps up and all those points up to see who the Lords of Lanes Raceway will be and who them Four Crowns King of Lanes Raceway will be. So pretty excited about that. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you would, like, share, and subscribe. And a special thanks to our sponsors, Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999, sponsoring the Group 20 Wing Car Series that we're fixing to get underway right now. Sean out in front on red lane, Guillermo Sire on white, Glenn Burden on green, Gabriel Kirtley on orange, Randy Kirtley on blue, Bruce Bullington on yellow, Jay Latham on purple. So we can already see guys gathering around over there as they're getting ready to race. I'm going to get this race underway. Now, you guys know it's 3 strikes, you're out. And then you set out for the heat. Guys been working on their cars, so hopefully we'll have a nice, smooth Group 20 race here. Had a little bit of a rain out issue early last night. We fixed some of the ceiling tile to make it leak the other way. Having some trouble, the guys getting the leaks to stop here at Lanes Raceway, but hopefully they'll get that fixed here soon. Guillermo Sire there getting his car set up there. And he'll be alongside there, Sean. Sean hooking his stuff up there. Some of the guys, of course, running a little bit late today. We ended up waiting for them. Racers, are you ready? Watch your lights. And here we go. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. As you guys can tell, I feel a little bit better this week. Thank God for that. I've been praying pretty hard. I've not been feeling real good. And it feels good to be feeling good. So thank God for that. We're back live action here. Just to check here, we are currently offline for some reason. What just happened there? There we go. We're streaming Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I kind of glitched out there for a second. I thought we were completely offline, but nonetheless, we are live. You can chat here. We're using Restream.io to do the chatting, so you can chat. That's going to be a strike there on white lane. They're first. Right now, Gabriel Kirtley out in the lead there on orange lane as he comes around the horseshoe. He's there side by side with Glenn Burden on green lane. Let's get another car coming off here in the donut portion of the track. And that's going to be a strike there for purple lane. That's purple's first. That's Jay Latham there, currently in second place. So that'll probably move him to third there now that Randy Kirtley there's on blue lane. Just ahead of him there a little bit. But our leader, Gabriel Kirtley, there on orange, really been working on his wing car here lately. You see him going around the horseshoe again as he comes in to reel in the car there on purple lane. That's Jay Latham in third as we get another yellow flag here. I believe Gabriel Kirtley's possibly caught up in that mess. And that looks to be Gabriel Kirtley going to receive a strike there on orange lane. He's currently the leader. This could change things, though. As we see that blue lane of Jay Latham just right behind Gabriel. Just puts them on the same lap. So blue's right there behind Gabriel. Orange going under dead man's corner. Orange going on the inside of Glenn Burden there on green. And here comes Jay right behind him there on blue lane. Blue lane dive bombing down low under dead man's corner. Gabriel Kirtley almost entering dead man's corner as we get another yellow flag. Now they're on orange lane. Gabriel Kirtley coming out of dead man's corner. But yellow lane is going to take a strike here. That'll be their first. Now that's Bruce Bullington's first. So he's definitely got that car fixed up a little bit. Surf Ranger. I'll check in for this one. Sunny Southern California. Man, I love it. I wish I was at sunny California right now. It's been gloomy here in Livermore the past couple days. Raining hard yesterday. Thank you, Surf Ranger. I do. I feel extremely better. Last week, man, it was hard to even talk. I would get nauseated just talking. But thank God for that. I do appreciate that. Uh, well wishes goes a long way. Speaking of that, if you get a chance to speak good to somebody, do exactly like Surf Ranger. Speak good about them. It's always better. It really lightens their day, and it's good for them. Gabriel Kirtley out in the lead. Randy Kirtley there on blue lane, pretty close behind him. They're neck and neck, as you can see, coming around the high banks there. Randy Kirtley, of course, in the high bank. Gabriel Kirtley just an inch or so out of the high bank. And up on his high side there, Guillermo in white. Guillermo currently in fifth position. We see Sean grabbing a car there. Now it's going to be a strike for Green Lane. Glenn Burden currently in fourth position. That'll be his first strike. And Guillermo there on white, fixing to take his 14th lap. So that'll put them very, very close to each other also. As we get a big cluster here, the nerves and tensions of these racers is probably getting pretty high as they're all relatively on the same lap. Gabriel and Randy squeezing each other in Dead Man's Corner as we get another car to come off. Can't really see it right now as it's underneath Dead Man's Corner. Or no, actually, they got involved right before the start-finish line. Interesting. So this could change things. We're going to see who this is. T, get that remote and reset the clock. I forgot to reset the clock. Okay, thank you, Gabe. So Bruce is going to use it. Oh, that's his third. So that's Bruce's third. It's hard to remember all the stuff you got to do just to do a race here at Lanes Raceway. There's a lot of intricate things that goes on. We check the track before the race, clean the braids a little bit. Sometimes have to vacuum out the slots depending on how rough they get, and then get all the TVs turned on, swap over the HDMI's to the appropriate race so that guys can see it anywhere they're at in the track, and all those things are a lot. And then sometimes I forget to do our new clock that we got, so that's gonna be a strike there for green. That's Glenn Burden's second strike. And on orange, also going to receive a strike. Now it's Gabriel Kirtley's second strike, so they're both on some high-end stuff here. Now Randy Kirtley on blue lane, I believe he's under Dead Man's Corner. So now Gabriel and Randy have swapped positions here. Randy Kirtley coming around the horseshoe there, right behind him. Gabriel Kirtley about 13 car lengths behind. And Randy Kirtley now gaining some momentum there on blue lane as he pushes the aggression. Purple lane to his high outside is Jay Latham. He's keeping it nice, but Jay gets caught up there in the horseshoe, one of the tighter bends for purple. So we see a little bit of a stall there on red lane by Sean going up underneath Dead Man's Corner. Gabriel Kirtley still fighting to try to catch Randy. As we see Glenn Burden there going to take a strike. That's going to be Glenn's third strike, sorry. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. Gabriel one lap down from Randy Kirtley. Randy Kirtley there right behind Gabriel Kirtley as he's wanting to make that pass on Gabriel. As you can see going through the horseshoe. Gets a little squirrely through the S-turns, but Randy was able to save it there on blue lane. But he's reeling Gabriel in. Gabriel's got a very, very fast wing car. He's able to keep that rhythm nice and true there as we get our first red flag rotation. That's the end of round robin 1. So we're going to go ahead and clear out, of course, yellow and green. That'd be Bruce and Glenn setting out the first heat. Head over here to the track mate. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 37 laps total. Gabriel Kirtley, 36. 35 for Jay Latham. 33 for Guillermo Sire. 27 for Sean. Glenn there, 25 and 11 for Bruce. Get ahead over here to the orange main screen here. Remember, chat is live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, send it to your friends. It helps a ton for the racers and for us here at Lanes Raceway getting our reach out to better help our racers here. We do have several cars on consignment from the racers, and we try to get as big of a reach as we can to try to get those cars sold for them, and we'll ship it to anywhere in the continental U.S. I'm not going to ship it to Hawaii or Alaska or anything like that, but If you're in the continental U.S. and you like what you see on our Facebook page, you'd like to buy one of these guys' drag cars or one of these guys' circle cars, you just hit us up on Facebook in a private message, and we'll get her shipped out to you. And the guys will appreciate that too, as we got a little bit longer reach than what they can get, and we'll send it through the UPS store out of Central City. But right now, special thanks to our sponsors, Livermore, Kentucky Subway, sponsoring the Group 20 wing car, adding $1,000 to the purse for the Four Crowns here at Lanes Raceway. And with only 6 races left to go, it's pulling down to the final wire. All these races matter for who's going to be the king of Lanes Raceway. And all those laps are going to matter for how much of a payout these guys are going to get. So we're talking 4,000 total purse, 2,000 from our sponsors, and us matching 2,000 for track bucks. So Livermore Subway, give them a call, 270-278-5999, and get you a Subway sandwich. Our other sponsor, Fairview IT Management here at Lanes Raceway. They've done a lot for us here at Lanes Raceway with the hooking up of the TVs and getting HDMI cables and stuff ran, doing our whole infrastructure on the internet and everything like that. It's been good. Now, of course, my brother owns that company, but that doesn't mean anything. These guys really know what they're doing behind a computer, and they can do so much more than you could think. And they also can manage and do your emails also, and they're based out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, Kentucky. So 1 minute before we get back started racing, we can already see several of the racers lined up there. A few of the other guys cooling off their motors and everything else. We got Randy Kirtley over there. We'll see if we can swap on over to where he's at. Kind of see him and Glenn Burden there in their pit station. Randy's got his car up on a fan. Got some cooling stations coming next week. We're pretty excited about too. And a lot of they're a break-in station and a cooling station, so that'll be kind of cool if you're trying to break in motors and stuff like that. These are really, really nice ones. We actually seen it off of an advertisement on Chase Mead's Pro Pairings when he was running a drag race, and I thought, man, those are super duper cool. So then Glenn Burden sent a message to my brother, and my brother, he does all of the business side of Lanes Raceway, so he was able to get us hooked up on some of those. 6 seconds, we're going back green racing. I'm currently drinking myself a Mountain Dew Code Red. I just found out recently the reason why they came out with Code Red was because it was the first year that Mountain Dew was sold in Russia. That was kind of interesting. I watched a little video on that a couple days ago. I thought that was kind of cool. Let's get our first strike here. See who that is. See my wife there, helping track marshal there. Something's going on right now, looks like, with Bruce's car here. Possibly braids too low, maybe. Cutting out. Could be an issue with a motor wire or something. I don't know what's going on here. Nathaniel, also known as Natty Ice, and Carissa Burden says, hello all. Hello, Natty Ice. He told Glenn last night this is the last week they got. He's coming back next week, so they better prepare themselves. So if you was wondering why we don't have 8 cars currently, well, that's why. Natty Ice is enjoying himself a nice vacation. We see Guillermo Sire coming around there to pass the car to T there, and she's going to get the car put on, and we're going to get our first strike here. That's going to be a strike there on blue lane. If you guys haven't heard, our big drag race that we had planned is getting postponed for the time being, as we're going through some transitional things here at Lanes Raceway to get ready for RC and some other stuff. And I think we're actually going to end up doing a drag racing series and possibly start doing some drag racing on Saturday. So we're working some of those things out, and it just wasn't a good fit to do a big drag race currently at this time. So if you are hearing this, the big drag race has been postponed for the 31st and 1st, if you've heard about that. Now, we haven't really made any posts. I think the post went live for like just a few seconds on Facebook, but like I said, that has been postponed. So don't show up the 31st here thinking there's a big race, because there will not be a big race on the 31st of January. But nonetheless, we're working on things here. We want to get some stuff worked out and everything, and get set up to when we're really, really ready to run that race. Until I get some things worked out, I think we're going to put a box on the end of the drag strip and stuff too. We have yet to get my race battery in, so I've been going back and forth with that, trying to get a race battery, because it's hard to find a battery at 16 volts. James T. Findle says, yes, drag racing on Saturdays will be great. Well, James, it's interesting. You guys know him as Findle around the area. Uh, it's interesting you say that. We was talking last night till about midnight almost. Worm and Jason and all the family and Glenn and everybody. And they want to do some specialty type racings on Saturday, like no prep drag racing, heads up pro tree, uh, no tree, straight to the green. And I was like, that stuff kind of sounds cool, and we can do those interesting things, have like a gambler's race and stuff like that. And basically, what I said is, being that it is like a gambler's race, right? Um, I don't, we're not trying to promote gambling or nothing here, so it would be between you guys. So what we'll do here at Lanes Raceway is I'll rent you track time as the service, and I'll run your races. But when it comes down to you guys doing that sort of thing, that of course will be on you guys whether or not that's what you want to do. Does orange and blue right now have two strikes? Orange and blue have two strikes or one? Okay, well then I guess both of you got two strikes. Is this a new wreck? Okay. But yeah, so the drag racing, uh, doing that kind of stuff, heads up, rank, race what you brung, that kind of stuff too. I think it'll be kind of cool. But back to this racing right now for the time being. Randy Kirtley out in the lead there on Purple Lane currently. Gabriel Kirtley 3 laps down from that as we get a car to pop off of the horseshoe of the track here. It's going to be Guillermo Sire bringing a car around to T. And I told the guys too, I said, I'm hoping to any kind of fun, little exciting new things for drag racing. Like I told you guys too, I'm going to get the cameras and stuff set up, and I think I'm going to have a little bit of extra time this week since we're not working on Wednesdays anymore. Now that Wednesday, what I'm going to do is come in here. I'm probably going to move the one camera that is looking at the oval track and kind of move it back a little bit so we can also get the drag strip in there too and move it. Whoa, as the car comes off there on the donut portion of the track there. Minute and 14 seconds left in the heat. We got our first racer down. Randy Kirtley there on Purple Lane, coming around the horseshoe to the back stretch as he crosses the start finish line. Up on green, Sean currently in 5th position at 42 laps. Let's get another car coming off here. That's going to be on Black Lane. That's going to be Black's second strike. I also plan on making a pretty big drag racing order here, as we've had more and more people getting more and more gears and more motors and more um, tires and stuff. I need to be able to keep that stuff in stock. So this week we're going to get a pretty big order of rear tires and stuff for the drag cars, a couple more bodies, and of course reorder some of the gears and stuff that are popular. So we see Glenn Burton coming off there for his third strike. So go both Glenn and Bruce there coming off. 2 strikes there on Black Lane and another strike there on green, or first strike there on green, excuse me, for Sean. And if you guys can think of anything that you would like to see here in the shop at Lanes Raceway, we're always expanding it, trying to make it bigger and better, and trying to find a way to basically sell everybody's stuff. And try to make just Lanes Raceway a go-to place to get anything that you need hobby-wise for slot car racing. especially. Let's get another car coming off here. It's going to be Guillermo Sire coming off in the horseshoe portion of the track. That'll be his first strike. But I am excited for the things to come here at Lanes Raceway, as I know a lot of you guys are too. We're always trying to make it a little bit better. We've actually had our eyes on a couple of new things, what type of tracks we're going to do and stuff like that. We have seen one track that we're interested in. We might end up be getting a new track here shortly. But I've also kept my eyes on a couple pinball machines too, so it could go either way. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. I always like to stay pretty excited about things and introduce it when the time is right. All right, 4 red lights are dropping out to a green yet again. Here we go. Randy Kirtley still in the lead there on purple lane as he comes to try to reel in that black lane of Jay Latham. Keeping his distance there with Jay, and he makes that pass on a straight stretch. He's able to outrun him as he comes up underneath Dead Man's Corner again. We see Guillermo Sire coming off yet again on the horseshoe. That's going to be Guillermo's second strike there. We got 2 seconds left to go in this round robin 2 of 8 here for the Group 20 wing car. This is our 7th race. Now we got this race and 5 more races, and the 4 Crowns will be over for the season. So it's winding down. We're over halfway now. That's the end of the heat there. So we're going to go ahead and clear these strikes out for the next round. And we're going to look here at the track and see Randy Kirtley averaging 37.5 right now, doing pretty good there, turning 38 on purple lane. 75 total laps, 70 for Gabriel at 35 on average. Jay Latham 67, averaging 33.5, 32 there on black lane. Guillermo 65, Sean 58, 37 for Glenn, and 17 for Bruce Bullington. And over here at the Big Blue, we got a World's Track here coming up in April the 12th to be exact. We're going to be running the Flexi Challenge Series here at Lanes Raceway. So if you're interested in that, give us a like, share, and subscribe if you like World's Racing, slot car racing, Flexi Challenge Series type stuff. And the guys are super excited to try this track out. I spent all morning this morning stapling those black barriers there to the track, and wore blisters on my hands doing it. But now hopefully they'll stay on there, and the guys won't have to constantly rub them to keep them to it. That glue just did not stick well. But nonetheless, there's always little bitty problems that you can get fixed. So there goes my brother Gabriel there, owner of Fairview IT Management. So give him a call there in Owensboro or Bowling Green, Kentucky for all your IT management needs. Hey, you want to start up a slot car track like this? Hey, man, he can get you going. Get you some TVs, run you some cables, show you how to swap all that stuff over, and get your RC tracks and all that stuff hooked up into one big, what do you call that? Network cabinet. I don't know, he's got all that stuff. He knows the computer language better than me. I can barely keep it all together. To your far right, in your upper right-hand corner there, that's our RC track. We're gonna have some RC racing come Tuesday here at Lanes Raceway. We got new software. It's called Live Racing. Hang on, I'll tell you exactly what it's called. I think it's called Live Racing. I got it on my phone. I love the app that it comes with. It's like $9 a month. And I can't say enough good things about it. If you're running like RC racing, it melds perfectly with the hardware that we have here too. So it's pretty cool. Of course, internet, it leaves something to be desired here in Livermore currently. It's called Live RC. That's what it's called. So if you look up Live RC, you can actually find Lanes Raceway on there and see pretty much our top 3 little posts here on Facebook underneath the Live RC page, and kind of see what we're doing here. If you don't have Facebook, it's a good way to see about 3 or 4 of our posts on Facebook, top 3 or 4. It also has our information here, our address, 606A Hinton Street, Livermore, Kentucky. Our phone number, too, 270-278-1400. Our website, lanesraceway.com. And our email, which is lanesraceway@gmail.com if you need to send us an email or something like that. But this live RC, you can check out the live practice. You can check out the results for the month. You can check out all the sessions, see who's racing. And you can also, this is the cool part about it, you can check in anytime you want on a live stream of our track while they're racing on it. So that's pretty cool too. So live RC, if you guys are trying to run you a RC setup, definitely pretty cool. All right, we're going to head back to the racing here. 1 second, we're going to see those 4 red lights dropping out to a green. 1 second, folks. Wife needs to talk to me. All right, so right now my wife gave me some pretty bad news, or well, could possibly be, could be good news. I don't know. Might end up being good news. But her father-in-law is heading to the hospital, so please be praying for him that everything goes well. He's a close friend of mine, actually. Um, Green Lane taking a strike there. Guillermo Sire taking his first strike there. A minute and 36 seconds into the heat. Randy Kirtley out in the lead there on Black Lane as we see him coming around, trying to get past purple there of Glen Burden. We see Guillermo Sire coming off yet again in the horseshoe portion of the track. He's going to check the track there. Of course, the racers are allowed to roll the track. They're not allowed to glue it. So we do have a roller if they need to roll the track there. Guillermo Sire, they're going to take a look at his car. We're going to give him another strike. That'll be his second strike. Of course, Guillermo having some struggling issues here with the wing cars here at Lanes Raceway all season long, but he's going to be working on that for sure. He's pressing the braid down there. I think the braid roller is actually over there in the windowsill, or T might have it somewhere else if she's taking off running. So I'm sure it's probably back here over at the shop area. Yep. So that's another thing we forgot to do is put that by the windowsill. But Guillermo, he's quick. He'll get it rolled out. It's always good while you're in rotation to be able to check your next lane that you're going to make sure that it's good to go. Right now, round robin 3 of 8. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 86 laps. Gabriel Kirtley in second with 80. Jay Latham, 78. 74 for Guillermo Sires. Sean with 68. Glenn, 46. And Bruce, 25. Here we go. Okay. All right. We see another incident here. We'll see who this is. Red lane and white lane going to take their first strikes. Randy Kirtley there on black, coming around the donut. As he's back under Dead Man's Corner around the donut, 2 on his high outside. Guillermo and Bruce as he makes that pass pretty easily. He's really humming there on Black Lane. Right now turning 20 laps so far on Black Lane. Best lap of 3.004. Currently the fastest lap turned. So we see another car coming off here. Gabriel Kirtley's going to pass that to T. And that's going to be a strike there on Purple Lane for Glenn, his first. Yellow flag, Bruce Bullington hitting the track button there, so he's going to receive a strike. That'd be his second. So our RC program has been taking off quite well here. I actually got, for the first time yesterday during Test and Tune on Saturday, to play around a little bit with the RC cars. We got a newcomer going to be racing possibly Tuesday, Jackson Darty, also known as Gold Dust, around these parts. As he's brought home a couple series. He's brought home a Little Rumble series and the Summer Series, of course, this year. As he's got the big checks on the wall over there. That's how I know it. But nonetheless, he says, you know what, I've done slot car racing. That's going to be Guillermo Sire's third strike there. He's like, I've done slot car racing and I've done well. I'm going to move on. So he's moved on up to RC racing, and he was racing around on it. He was doing pretty good. And then I raced it. I said, man, that car's pushing really hard. So I gave the car over to Randy Kirtley, and I said, how are we going to fix this spring wise to make this turn a little bit better in the back end? It's entering the corners fine, but on the exit of the corner, it's just too stiff. It's pushing to the wall. So he made a couple turns there, and it ended up loosening it up in the rear end, made it come around just a little bit so that we could make the turn. And then once that happened, we just kind of tweaked it from there, and actually tweaked another set. As we're going to see Bruce Bullinson there take his third strike. But yeah, we tuned it a little bit. The car started coming around pretty good. We had that thing humming, and I mean, it was taking corners effortlessly almost. So it's pretty fun to mess with them, taking the little tools and tuning the springs and all that. It's a little different than slot car race tuning. Well, slot car race tuning is all about keeping it flat, true, as low to the ground as you can, and as light as you can. And I guess all those things kind of matter too in RC racing. But you also have other adjustments like spring tension adjustments and stuff like that, which is pretty interesting to say the least. And I had a ball. Like we was playing around with it, cutting up, joking around. It was pretty cool. Randy Kirtley there in the lead, 112 total laps, 37.3 on average. Gabriel Kirtley there with 103, 34.3 on average. Jay Latham right there behind Gabriel yet again with 102 at 34 point average. Sean 93, Guillermo 88, 68 laps for Glenn, and 38 for Bruce. Gonna head over here to the big blue screen. You can see these guys working on their cars and moving around. We are live streaming currently on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Chat is live. If you want to come in, chat, say hello. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like what you see. If you're interested in any kind of hobbyist type of racing, we're doing it here at Lanes Raceway, and we're trying to develop that even more. We also even have hobby slash a professional little pinball setup here that we like to make the guys and gals here really compete for points. We have the plumb bob set on these pinball machines very, very liberally so that you can shake, rattle, and roll the machine and it not tend to tilt you. And that's for purposes of gaining skill and being able to practice your skills at pinball a little bit better. Because we want to make professional pinball players here too, if we can. All about trying to make things more professional, I suppose. Not many places, develop their places after going faster, being the best and all that. You have a lot of places that tend to cater towards right. Microphone died on me. But yeah, we have a lot of places that, tend to, yeah, every once in a while have some very competitive racing, once or twice a year, but they don't make it their main focus year round. Now, of course, where we got this World Blue Track at, they make it a main focus there. The Czech Republic, they're building a track every year to run the World's Track, and that's what they do. They spend their time working on being professionals and doing that sort of stuff. Now, our pockets are definitely not that deep to be able to build a track every year to do that kind of thing, but at least we have at least one of each kind of style of track that, for the most part, people race on, whether it's quarter mile drag strip, a tri-oval, the orange Monarch American style type track, and a of course, flat worlds inspired type track. So if you're looking to try to develop your skills, it's a good place to come. A nice clean environment too, family friendly. We keep the cussing to a minimum here. I'm not going to say if you slip and say some words or, every once in a while it comes out. I'm not going to be like your mama or your daddy. But you know, every other breath, I will say something. You know, I'm like, hey man, it's a family place. We just think before we talk. You know, so it's a good environment for people to be in. And as you guys can tell, most of these racers you see have been here for quite some time, and the reason they keep coming back is because it is a good environment, good family environment. Their voices are heard. I listen to every one of these racers. They want something done. We'll do our best to make it happen. If it's not feasible or there's a better way, of course, you know, we'll let them know that we're not going that route. But there's a general respect amongst the racers and us here trying to develop Lanes Raceway to be more professional minded. Now, granted, we do things just a little bit different here race wise, but we're trying to do things different to make it more streamlined for other people in case they want to open up a place too, to make it to where that, you know, races can run themselves and people can still be very professional about it. But we still do have live track racing. Of course, I said the Flexi Challenge Series, of course, coming in April will be a live track event for all those classic uh, slot car racers of old that like the live track and like to scream track real loud. I guess it's part of the atmosphere too. So blue's going to get pushed through. Black's going to receive a strike here. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Randy Kirtley in the lead there with 116 total laps. Gabriel Kirtley with 108. Jay Latham 107. That's your top three. As we get another yellow flag here. Almost halfway through the Subway, Livermore Subway Group 20 race here. That's going to be a strike there on blue lane, their first. Guillermo Sire. And I'll tell you what, we get more compliments about Subway here in Livermore than I have ever heard about any kind of restaurant or anything here in Livermore. People always coming in about, you know, man, what did they do to this Subway? I mean, the bread's good, everything's good. And I'll say, well, you know, a lot of it is because my mom works there. But my dad and my mom, of course, on Subway. They run a pretty stiff ship, guys. They want the place to be clean. They want it to be orderly and nice. And I believe they got a good group of guys and gals there that work together to try to make that happen. I think they do take pride in what they do there, uh, as being sandwich artists and everything. And I'll tell you, it's not an easy thing. I know me and my wife, we started doing the uh, what do you call it? The software to be able to be sandwich artists. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot of schooling, believe it or not, to be able to work at a Subway. And you know, I'm not putting shade there or nothing. You know, a lot of people in the fast food industry and then in the restaurant industry know just how tough it can be working for um, what do they call it? Franchises. So franchises, you know, they do things a little bit different. They have a certain way to work on stuff and things like that. Glenn Burton there going to take his third strike. But nonetheless, it's not easy for sure. So purple going to take their first. But yeah, I probably spent one weekend doing that. I probably spent about 8 or 9 hours going through videos, and I failed this one like over and over and over again. I just could not remember the measurements and stuff. Not really good in math, folks. Just never really have been. I can do basic math decently, and I can get by with basic math, but I tell you, when it comes to the more difficult maths, the fractions and all that stuff, it kind of just tilts my mind. I have to kind of think like it's a tape measure. That's about the only way I can make it work in my head. Four red lights dropping out to green. We got two cars into each other right out of the donut there. Three cars coming off here. Things are going crazy. You see Jay Latham moving, so Jay's probably got his third strike there, and he does there on orange. So we're going to see a strike on red, a strike on blue. So that's red second and blue second. starting to get a little brutal out there. Might be just one car left before this heat's over with. This is midway right now, round robin 4 of 8. $55 left to go. Randy Kirtley in the lead, 132 laps. Gabriel Kirtley there in second behind him at the 124. Jay Latham, 116. Jay Latham last year, the king of Lanes Raceway, still currently the king of Lanes Raceway until we crown a new one. And he will either keep that crown or he'll pass the crown. But still a lot of racing left to go, and who knows, he may actually be able to keep that crown depending on how many laps he's got. T, of course, adding all those laps up at the very end, so all the guys, when we have us a banquet and stuff, they'll be able to see it live when it happens. Adds to the suspense. Now, of course, these guys can go back and watch the live streams and add it up for themselves, and they'll know pre-hand, but that kind of takes away from the fun, I think. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. 27 seconds midway through this race left to go, and we're dropping people like flies currently. Sweet yellow flag here. 10 seconds left to go. And Bruce is reaching deep in there to grab the car. And that's going to be on green lane taking a strike. Gabriel Kirtley taking a strike there on green. And Randy Kirtley was able to turn 150 laps. So we can probably see that he will probably be able to turn 300 before it's said and done, if things go the way that it is now. Averaging 37.5 laps, Randy Kirtley with 150. Gabriel Kirtley 139 laps, averaging 34.8. Sean there averaging 31.8 at 127. He's coming up. Guillermo there 121, averaging 30.2. Jay Latham 116, averaging 29. Glenn Burden 77, averaging 19.2. And Bruce Bullington 57, averaging 14.2. I'm going to take you over here to scene 8. Let you watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, minute, and we'll be back racing. But right now, Special thanks to our sponsors, Fairview IT Management out of Bowling Green and Owensboro, Kentucky, Livermore, Kentucky, Subway, also our second sponsor for the Four Crowns here. Both these guys adding $1,000 to the pot for the Four Crowns racers. It's always good to race for something, so we're thankful for those sponsors, and we're going to match it here at Lanes Raceway with track bucks, so it'll be 2,000 track bucks too. Heading back over to the orange, you can see some of the racers already hooked up, ready to roll, as Randy Kirtley makes his way around the high banks portion of the track. Randy Kirtley's been leading since pretty much after the first heat when Gabriel had that incident. Gabriel's been fighting pretty hard trying to stay afloat here. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. Here we go. Randy Kirtley now 11 laps up from Gabriel Kirtley there on Blue Lane as we get 2 cars coming into contact there on the donut portion of the track. Jay Latham going to roll around there to grab him. T's currently up at the checkout station there helping some customers out. So we're going to see a strike there on Purple Lane there first. Now that's Guillermo's first. Guillermo, of course, coming out a little bit earlier there, having some issues with his car. If you made it this far in the stream, you love slot car racing. You love anything miniature car racing. Give us a like and a subscribe and share it to your friends that you think might like this kind of racing too. Always got to mention that. We're almost to breach on Facebook right now. If you check out on Facebook, we're at a 1,900 and I believe 94 followers on Facebook. We'd really like to get that to 2,000 before we end this stream today. That would be awesome if we could do that. So if you ain't following us on Facebook and you have a Facebook, why don't you go on over there and give us a quick follow. Let's get it above 2,000. That'd be awesome. Jay Latham there, of course, grabbing 2 cars here. We're going to see who they are. Orange Lane, that's Randy Kirtley, the leader currently here, so he's going to lose a lap there. And green of Bruce Bullington. So green and orange taking strikes here. They're first. Randy Kirtley's Frost King car here just been outstanding all season long. A very, very good wing car here, to say the least. These guys are running Group 20 Coford motors, and they're running any chassis that they want to, as long as it's a wing car chassis. So, very, very good car of Randy's. He could probably sell that thing for hundreds of dollars. It's so good. Uh, and you can tell just from the lap times here, 3.104 right now. Guillermo Sire's close, but he's not quite there. White Lane's going to receive a strike here, and orange also. So we just got some speedball motors in. Some of the guys are going to be testing and tuning here with a couple of their flexi chassis. Some of the other guys there also getting flexi chassis too, to get ready for the upcoming Flexi Challenge Series here at Lanes Raceway on the World's Track. And we're excited about that. Very, very excited. Guys are building cars for it and everything else. Pretty much bought Mazzetti out, really, when it comes to chassis. The guys really want to run those kind of chassis, different kind of pan setups and stuff. So we had a car shot to the outside there in the high banks. But nonetheless, we're going to see how these guys perform with the speedball motors. I believe Ralph Thorne is going to be having some motors to ERI here at the beginning of this week or next week. I can't remember. We're going to get some of those so the guys can do the Raptor motors. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to try out different motors, try to find the best ratios and stuff, as we definitely want, if we can, at all way possible. Green, of course, getting a strike there. I missed that. Sorry, folks. But if all way possible, we really want to see a Lanes Raceway in the lead on that. We want to see them take the victory that day. A hometown hero, in a sense. Speaking of hometown heroes, coming up next is our hometown hero race on the Tri-Oval, and that is our open wheel modified class here, the 4.5-inch GRC or hard body chassis at Lanes Raceway. So we see Bruce Bullington unhooking. That's going to be Bruce Bullington's third strike there on green as he comes off. Bruce, he definitely knows how to build them on the oval. He's having some issues here lately with his wing car, but Bruce is very, very methodical in his building techniques. He took a lot of inspiration from Cleve Tech, so he's always building some really smooth, nice sounding cars. Sometimes in the race, though, we always tend to push a little bit harder than we do when we're practicing. So I'd say he's got a really, really good car for sure. There's two cars coming off here. Uh, so looks like the other one is Frost King Randy Kirtley. He's going to take a strike. Randy Kirtley there on orange. That's his third. He'll be setting out the rest of the heat. Definitely not what Frost King wanted to see. Now, 55 seconds left. That's a lot of time left to go. So Gabriel Kirtley's really going to be able to breach that as he's going to try his best to catch Randy Kirtley. 6 laps down now, dropping that very, very quickly at 3 seconds a lap. He will take the lead here. Sean will most likely be right there at Randy whenever this race comes to a conclusion here, this heat. Definitely not what Randy wanted to see, though, for sure. As we get a flag on the play here and a car coming off. Bruce Bullington's going to grab that and help track marshal now. But that's racing, folks. Sometimes you just get involved in incidents. Black Lane's going to take a strike there. 28 seconds left to go in the heat. Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley currently tied. Gabriel Kirtley might be able to actually bring home a victory here if he keeps this up. He's kind of got a little bit of a smile and smirk on his face currently right now. He's feeling very, very good about this, to say the very least. If he can stay out of trouble for the next 3 round robin heats, he should be able to bring one home. 8 seconds left to go in this heat. Gabriel Kirtley at 175 now. Let's get a car to come off there and a red flag. They got about a tenth of a second or so left. It's a Black Lane. That'll be their second. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. And that's a red flag rotation. So Gabriel Kirtley was able to take the lead by about 10 laps, pretty close to it. As we go over here to check out the track mate. Gabriel Kirtley now in the lead with 176 laps, averaging 35.2. Randy 167, averaging 33.4, taking that hard hit there, coming out. 157 for Guillermo at 31.4 to round up your top 3. Sean 156 in 4th. Jay 5th, 145. Glenn Burden 6th at 112, and Bruce 71 at 7th position. Coming over to the big blue track here so you can see everybody working on their cars, and we'll be right back with you here in just a second. All right, folks, 7 seconds before we go back green racing. Sean coming in from a little bit of a break. The strike board has been cleared out. 4 red lights are dropping out to a green. We are over halfway in this race. We're actually 2/3 of the way as we get a car to pop out right there on the start finish line. Might need a little weight in the nose on that baby. She's torquey. So we're going to see Jay Latham reset that car there on blue, and that's going to be Bruce's first strike there. Nobody currently on green lane as we're 1 racer down. All right, 4 red lights are dropping out to green. If you guys are wondering how the track keeps coming off whenever these cars come off, they got a red button there that each one of them press to do that. Now, whenever they do that, they are punished by taking a strike and having to start their car back over at the start-finish line. This keeps people from rushing and just hammering the button all the time. If we didn't have strikes and stuff, we used to do that too, but it got to a point where people would just rush too hard and drive it too deep. There was no punishment other than time loss, and that's the biggest deal is time. So it's all about being able to make every single one of these races on one day because that's when everybody can get together. So to be able to run all 4 of these races, we have to be able to get them done in about anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. If it takes longer than that, we're starting to eat up too much time and we can't really get the race done in time. But right now we're about 58 minutes or so into this race. It's a little bit longer than what we'd usually see on a good race, but not too bad. I think we'll finish right there at the time that's needed. We'll have to jump right into the next race for sure, but nonetheless, not too bad. We also have a rookie series here at Lanes Raceway. I'm messaging with Mark Stratton right now. He says, don't start that rookie race without me. So if you guys want to get in on some rookie race action and you feel like this is just too fast for you and stuff, we do have rookie races here at Lanes Raceway. We run on the oval track, and they're not real fast, folks. They're about the same speed as the Hometown Heroes coming up next. If you've seen that race, you can tell that they're not extremely fast. Pretty manageable. And on the oval track, if you got one set up right, you only got a lift on one corner. All the rest of it's wide open. And it's pretty fun just to be able to come in and race with the guys and have a good time. And they'll definitely help you out with whatever you need. All these guys are swapping information with each other all the time. Now, of course, keeping some of their secrets there. Looks like Sean has a stalled car there on the oval. He's going to need to push that car through. So what happens is whenever people uh, don't have enough guide flag washers there in the high banks, it is recessed. They don't get a good connection there in the high banks sometimes. So you definitely want to be able to have enough guide flag washers underneath your car to supplement for any kind of terrain on this track, because it is recessed a little bit. If you don't, that right there that just took place could happen. Well, all our other tracks here at Lanes Raceway don't have recess. Uh, the braid's actually on top of the track. Okay, so red is going to take a strike. But you'll also find too that the tracks that are recessed, you don't have to change the braid as often, simply because the cars go over top of the braid by going over top of the track. There's no way to actually hit the braid and dig in other than cars going crazy in the corners can roll the braid up. But the braid that's on this track is almost 30 years old, and it still looks decent, especially on the straight stretches. It's perfect. But if we was to look at, like, let's say our brand new track right now is already starting to take humps and bumps. But if you look at the tri-oval, it looks like that braid's like 50, 60 years old. It's got gashes in it and everything else. and it's getting very close to needing to be replaced. But you guys know replacing the braid is very, very expensive. All right, a pretty good little stint there. Gabriel Kirtley's still in the lead by 10 laps. He's holding it off the best that he can as we see a car coming off there in the horseshoe portion of the track. Jay Latham's going to bring the car around here. We'll get it seated up. Got two cars actually off. So purple going to take a strike and red. Purple and red. So that'd be red second. Jay Latham's second strike there. Well, T's taking pictures now. Got some new stuff in the consignment. Got some guys coming in trying to get some stuff sold here. So, like I said, guys, if you're looking to sell your stuff, we got a pretty good reach here at Lanes Raceway. Definitely come bring your stuff. That stuff's coming in and going out just as quick as it comes in. So you definitely want to come and get here as quick as you can and get some of that stuff that you haven't used in a while. You want to get rid of. We're selling that out here. And you set the low price, you set the high price. We just get rid of it for you, and it's been working very, very well here. We actually need more people. Starting to get a little barren in the sell booth over there. We're selling quite a few drag cars here. There's a new box that come in today, man. It looks good. It's like a dark oak or something. Going to clear the strikes here and take a look at the track mate. As we're fixing to go into our round robin 7 of 8. 212 total laps for Gabriel Kirtley right now, 35.3 on average. So he's brought that up by 0.1 this heat. Randy Kirtley there, 202, 33.7. He is 10 laps down from Gabriel. Going to be a tough road to hoe to catch back up. Guillermo there in third with 193, 32.2 on average. Sean in fourth, 186. Jay in fifth, 174. Glenn in sixth, 145. Bruce in seventh, 102. Heading over here to scene 8. Special thanks to our sponsors for the 4 Crowns, Fairview IT Management out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, Kentucky. Give them a call for all your IT needs, and I mean, they can set up a slot car track. You know, they did it here, so we're appreciative of them, and everything is automated in here if you can't tell. And that's special thanks to Fairview IT Management and also Randy Kirtley for doing some DC wiring here on our World's track that you're looking at. Also, speaking of Randy Kirtley, the owner of Livermore Subway here in Kentucky, throwing another $1,000 into the prize pool for these racers. So special thanks to him at Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999. Give them a call, get you a 6-inch or 12-inch sub sandwich, and they're actually next door to Lanes Raceway. So you take a receipt here, get 10% off. Go over there, get a sub sandwich, get their receipt, come back over here, get 10% off up to an item of $100 or less. Heading back over to the high banks, waiting on the racers. We'll be right back with you. All right, about 45 seconds before we go back green, race with CJ Latham and Glenn Burden rolling around. Everybody else rolling around too. 3 cars there in the high banks. Philip Pitts from YouTube says, had a place like this back where I used to live in the late 60s. Randy Kirtley there in the flannel, black and white flannel. That's when he started racing, was back in the 60s. Racing over in Island, Kentucky on a track very similar to this. We call this track a tangerine because, as you can see, the dead man's corner underneath the bridge there is right in the bridge, where a regular orange would actually have a 8-foot section that you would go through before going through the bridge. So there wouldn't be that many wrecks in the bridge. But yeah, a lot of these guys been racing since then. 4 red lights, you're dropping out to green, and we're going racing. All right, Tim Hall coming in, getting some stuff set up on consignment, and doing a check on some RC parts here at Lanes Raceway. Got some RC rolling here at Lanes Raceway here recently, and it's been taking off like gangbusters. The guys having a good time on the mocked up dirt RC track here at Lanes Raceway. It's not as popular as our slot car series, but we're going to try to get it there. We're always trying to find ways to make things streamlined where we can do some payouts, some big checks, some trophies, and stuff like that. But we got to get it to where that we can do that and not lose money. It's tough, but there's always a way, and we'll figure it out. I've been saving money for the past couple of weeks to pay these guys out for the Big Four Crowns race. This is our 7th race out of 12. So 6 races count. The other 6 are makeup races so that you can still go on vacation and do stuff. Uh, you're not required. Now, here's the thing. There is a caveat to that. If you want to be the king of Lanes Raceway, you better get here every week because there is no 6 on, 6 off. If you want to be the king of Lanes Raceway, you got to turn as many laps as you possibly can during this 12 races on each one of these series that we have, because we add every one of them up. And this year, what we're going to do, we didn't do it last year. I wish we did. Uh, Underneath, when it says that you're the king of Lanes Raceway, like Jay Latham right now there in the black hoodie, he's our king right now. What I wish we'd have done instead of putting King of Lanes Raceway 2024, underneath it, I wish we'd have put the total laps that he ran last year in the 4 Crowns. Well, this year we're going to do that. So it's going to say King of Lanes Raceway 2025, the person's name, and then underneath it, laps turned. And that'll be the most laps that was turned during the 4 Crowns. Now, to be a Lord of Lanes Raceway, though, you just got to have the most points, and it's points based, where last year it was lap based. But this year it's point based, and in the point systems like this, first place gets 100, second 95, third 90. Same way that we've been doing all year round for our individual series. So Red Lane going to take a strike there. Glenn Burden grabbing his car. I think he's having some issues here, maybe possibly. So he's giving up some of those laps. This is round robin 7 of 8 currently here. 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go. Gabriel Kirtley still hanging on to that lead. He's actually got a lap up on Randy Kirtley. But Randy Kirtley there on the tight red lane there. It's going to be tough for Randy to make that back up. He's going to have to rely on Gabriel Kirtley to come off and wreck. Now, Sean hitting the button there. Sean's going to take a strike there on orange. That'll be his first. I'm going to have to get some better camera angles, too, when we do the 4 Crowns. See, at our old place, we had some really good camera angles, really up close and personal with the guys and stuff like that. What I might do is just actually move the computer out a little bit where I'm sitting now and use the webcam to get these people so that they can say what they want to say. Our racers do get emotional, guys, whenever they're in banquet time. They say what they really mean. A lot of hugs and stuff going on during that time. And you're thinking, man, this is racing. These guys are hugging. Yeah, well, we do. We love each other here at Lanes Raceway. And all these guys that have been here since the beginning, through the good times and the bad, trying to figure things out, still trying to progress and make it even better if we can. Always trying to progress, always trying to make things better if possible. So, and it's a give and take type relationship for sure. So we see Gabriel Kirtley coming off here. Not what he needs to be doing here. Round robin 7 of 8. He needs to keep that car under control if he plans on bringing home a victory here. That'll be his first strike. 37 seconds left to go in the heat. Randy Kirtley coming back around, and I can't say enough about Randy. Randy Kirtley. I mean, I hate calling him Randy Kirtley because he's my dad. I like to call him Dad, you know. But he's done so much here for us. He stayed late last night. We were here till about 11:30, 12 o'clock, putting plastic wrap over the tracks because the roof and stuff's been leaking. We had to get the vacuum cleaner out, vacuum up water out of the blue track. It was an ordeal, but we didn't notice it until we was leaving. We thought that they had fixed the roof, but evidently they didn't. I think they made another leak over there by the pit station, so kind of just got worse, really. But nonetheless, Randy Kirtley, of course, staying there and helping us out. It means so much to us. Actually, I got to see, where is that purple? Purple ain't taking a strike. But I couldn't ask for a better mom and dad, really. I'm blessed to have a good mom and dad that I do have. I thank God for them every day. My brother, too, is exceptionally intelligent, my brother is. And he's a blessing to me for sure. 21 seconds left to go in the heat, and my brother's in the lead. And I know he's loving that because he loves being in the lead. But Sean, I'll tell you what, Sean's really impressing me, and you're going to probably see it here a little bit later today. I would not be surprised if Sean brings home a win today on the blue track, to be honest with you. There in the 72 pitch, he is extremely fast, very quick, accelerating, coming to a break, all simultaneously. Here on the track mate, we can see Gabriel Kirtley in the lead, 247 total laps, averaging 35.3. Randy Kirtley there in second with 34 on average, 238 total laps. Guillermo Sire, 230. 32.9 on average to round up your top three. Now, Sean, the guy I was telling you about, on the blue track, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with here a little bit later on. We got two series in that. We got the NASCAR and we have the LMP class 72 pitch. And Sean was very strong the past couple of weeks. So keep an eye out on him, especially when we get on the flat track. He's pretty quick. 220 for Sean there in fourth. Jay 208 in fifth. Glenn 151 in sixth. And Bruce 134 in seventh. Heading over here to Scene 8, as I call it, but it's actually the Big Blue track, the world's track from Giannis Nobkins. You can see me over there next to the dirt track there on the far right, or you can see me up in the upper left-hand portion and the bottom left of that little bitty old screen. I'll just throw my hand up and wave at you. There you go. You can see me over here. I'm just hanging out in this seat. If you guys want to come and talk and chat, we are live streaming Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the racers. It helps Lanes Raceway. And it helps get the name of slot car racing, RC racing, hobbyist racing, any of that hobbyist type stuff out there to the masses. Here in the near future, we're going to start live streaming drag races here at Lanes Raceway, so we're really excited about that. And we're probably going to have a certain type of series where it's closed box. You can enter one car, and it's going to be a grudge match. I want to do something like that, you know, winner take all type stuff. A minute 55 seconds. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, about 20 seconds before we go back green racing. I'm back. I had to go get me a little soda here real quick. I was drinking a Red Alert, I think is what it's called. What is that called? Mountain Dew. Yeah, Red Alert, I think. I don't know. Mountain Dew Voltage now. It's a pretty good little drink. I think y'all have probably had them. They've been around for a while. It's like a blueberry drink. Nonetheless, I do like some Mountain Dew. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Glenn Burton just getting his car hooked up here. He's stalled out on red right now, but he'll get her going on here just shortly. And this is round robin 8 of 8. Gabriel Kirtley there on yellow lane. Let's follow in with him as he comes around underneath Dead Man's Corner. He's reeling in the blue lane of Jay Latham. He's going to try to go on the outside, but he's right there behind Jay, as you can see, going around the donut there, as he makes a aggressive move there coming into Dead Man's Corner. But him and Jay Latham there in the S turns side by side, and a car coming off in the horseshoe. We see Sean there taking a quick look at his car on white. Get a car put on black lane here. That'll be Bruce's first strike. Bruce, of course, having some issues here with his wing car as of late. Seems to be a little light in the nose, but if you put too much weight in it, then it's light in the rear. So it's a weird balance when it comes to these wing cars. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Coming up next, Hometown Heroes on the oval track. Gabriel Kirtley there in yellow leading the way, coming up underneath Dead Man's Corner around the horseshoe. As he reels in the black lane of Bruce, and he makes the pass nice and easy. Coming up there on white lane, Sean, he makes the pass on Sean, coming around the outside of the donut. Get another incident in Dead Man's Corner, or actually on top of Dead Man's Corner, the bridge. Minute 13 seconds left. Right now, Gabriel Kirtley is turning a 3.020 to Randy's 3.083. So the only thing that's really going to get Randy where he needs to be is he's going to need to see Gabriel Kirtley come off with about 20 or so seconds left. We get a car stalled off on the bridge again right before the S turns. Glenn Burton's going to grab that car. We're almost halfway now. Randy Kirtley's odds of taking back over that lead from a devastating lane where he got popped off are dwindling, to say the least. Blue lane there with 2 strikes. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Blue now 2. Black with 1 strike. One and another yellow flag. So we get another hop out. It looks like probably underneath the bridge. Pushing Guillermo's car through, it looks like. So Guillermo going to receive a strike there. Yet again, this is the importance of having your guide flag with enough spacers underneath it that it makes connection in the recessed braid. 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. Gabriel Kirtley, your leader, coming around the S turns through the backstretch up underneath the bridge, taking a nice pass there on Bruce Bullington on black lane as he rounds back around, taking a group of them. They're side by side on blue, and blue gets into him. Jay Latham and Gabriel Kirtley getting involved in an incident. So Jay there on blue and Gabriel on black. So he black's second strike. He's going to mess around and lose this thing. So Gabriel there going to take a strike, and Jay going to take a strike. Or I put that on Bruce. Sorry about that, folks. Let me just go back and look. So yellow definitely taking a strike. And I believe Jay Latham is retiring. So Jay Latham going to retire there on blue. Oh, no, he's got his third strike on blue. Sorry. No retiring here. He got striked out. nonetheless, Gabriel Kirtley still in the mix here as he comes around the donut on the back stretch. He's in no man's land by himself. He's got nothing but smooth sailing there as his car comes to a nice stop there on the back stretch. He's been saying all season long that he's got a fast car. It's faster than Randy's, but having the opportunity to actually beat Randy's tough because he's got a car that handles so well through the donut and the S turns. So we see a car getting pulled here. That's going to be a strike there on red. They're first. T now coming in to help track marshal. So we're just right under the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. Let's get a stalled car there on black. That's going to be black's second strike. All right, it is a strike now. It's a really gnarly looking strike, but a strike nonetheless. Yeah, looks like another car coming off on red. So that'd be red's second strike. 15 seconds. Four red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Not to mention, Lanes Raceway, a good place for family fun here. You come in, if you're an adult, you got a kid with you, up to 2 kids, it's $10, $5, $5. The third kid, of course, you have to pay another 10. But nonetheless, that's for all day, and that's on all of our tracks. Now, of course, Sundays when they're racing, you can't, of course, get on the track that they're racing on. But on all the other tracks, even including the drag strip, is open for play while that's going on. So coming up next, they'll be on the oval track here. Gabriel Kirtley is going to bring home a victory. I'm sure he's very, very pleased as we take the strikes here and clear them off. And take a look here back at the track mate. Gabriel Kirtley, 284 laps, averaging 35.5. And Randy Kirtley there in second, 275, averaging 34.4. Guillermo there in third, 265, averaging 33.1. Sean right there behind him, 249, 31.1 on average. Jay there, 227, 28.4 on average. And Glenn Burden, 175, 21.9. Bruce Bullington, 159, averaging 19.9. As we can see, family here playing on the blue track. They'll have a little bit longer to play on that blue track. Because coming up next, we're going over to the oval. We're going to be racing Hometown Heroes coming up next. So thank you guys for tuning in for this week's, actually one race over midway. We're actually on our 7th race. Next week will be the 8th race. Running a total of 12 races here for the Group 20 Subway race here. Wing car race. Sorry, Copeland wing car race. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm just kind of jumbling my words up there a little bit. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be doing Hometown Hero on the oval. I'm going to call the guys for tech. We're going to tech those motors. We're going to tech those cars. We're going to stamp them out, make sure that they're running things legal. If you like what you've seen and you made it this far, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the racers out, helps us out here at Lanes Raceway. Stay tuned. We're going to end the stream here, come into the next stream on a fresh stream, ready for that Hometown Heroes class race. So if you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless you. If this is the only race we see, God bless you. And I'll see you on the next one.